Data model objects are the harmonized and standardized container of data which will be used to unify customer records. We got data from a data source object, the object which is in our source system. Like in our case, we got lead, contact, account as a part of sales bundle. So these objects can be called as data source objects. So we established a data stream connection to bring that data from the data source objects, and they are stored within the data lake object within Salesforce Data 360. Now to store these records in a standard customer 360 data architecture in Salesforce metadata structure, we have to map them with data model objects. So what is the difference between a data lake object and a data model object? Data lake object contains raw data which you got from the data source objects. But data model objects are the harmonized and structured way to store the data. When I say harmonized and structured way, you can create relationships between multiple data points. But this cannot be possible with a data lake object. Data lake object cannot be used for segmentations relationships until and unless you harmonize into customer 360 model. So to harmonize data lake objects into data coming within the data lake objects into customer 360 architecture, we will have to map data with data model objects. Now data model objects are of three categories. We have profile data model object, engagement data model object, and other data model object. Now all the data lake objects which were part of sales starter bundle are already mapped to data model objects. If we start with lead underscore home data lake object, and if we go to review mapping, you see that this data lake object lead underscore home is mapped with plenty of data model objects on the right hand side within the data 360. Lead underscore home data lake object is mapped with plenty of data model objects which are the part of customer 360 data model within Salesforce Data Cloud. We will understand more about customer 360 data model in our future videos. But first we have to focus on one object which contains the exact replica of lead which came from our CRM. That data model object is known as lead data model object. To explore this lead data model object, we will go to data model, and within the data model, we will click on lead. So the data which came from lead underscore data lake is originally hosted within data 360 within lead data model object. Salesforce provides some standard and ability to create custom data model objects within data 360. You see that this lead has a type standard. It is mapped with one data stream and one data lake object. As I said, the first thing which we have to do is to connect a data stream from the data source object present in a source system. That data comes within a data lake object. So this lead underscore home data lake is mapped with this lead data model object. Let's explore this lead data model object. We have seen that the lead data model object has a category profile. That means lead data model object is used to identify a particular entity, a particular individual within data 360. If you are bringing profile data of a particular entity, the data model object used to host that profile data should have a category profile. If we scroll down, we see that these are the fields which Salesforce has provided by default within the lead data model object. Now, to explore what all data we have in this lead data model object, we will go to Data Explorer. Within Data Explorer, earlier we explored lead underscore home data lake object, but now we can also explore data model object. We will click on data model object and we will search for lead data model object. We see that these are the attributes and data present within those attributes within lead data model object. We can click on edit column and remove all those fields which we no longer require. We can bring lead ID. These are the lead IDs available within our Data 360 instance within data model object whose name is lead. To cross validate if these are the correct leads or not, we can go to lead object and try to search for a particular ID within Sales Cloud. From app launcher, we will search for sales. We will go on leads. We will copy any random lead ID from the Data Explorer. We will replace that lead ID within the lead URL, the test lead URL which we have created, and we will be able to find that the lead which we see within our Data Explorer is actually a lead present within our CRM system. So data model objects can be explored within Data Explorer like we can explore data lake objects. But what is the difference between a data lake object and a data model object? The data model object are the structured way to store the data. If we go on lead, we can see a relationship tab. Once we click on this relationships tab, you see that lead standard data model object has relationship with other objects within our Salesforce Data 360. We will understand about these relationships further in our videos.